app. Are we on? Welcome to my series, Things I No Longer Do. This is day 2. Hi, my name is Camille, and I help support women who are ambitious and intuitive build the life and business of their dreams. Let's get into it. We are talking about things I no longer do. I no longer confuse importance with urgency. Okay? If you're building your business with a sense of urgency, that means you're building it in an unregulated state. Woo! I know that's crazy, but I've had a ton of experience with people in business and having completely unnecessary urgency. In fact, it was in multiple companies that I've worked with, it was actually a sense of, dare I say, the company culture to actually move with a sense of urgency in a completely unnecessary way. So let's talk about how things that are important need to come ahead of time. And obviously there's going to be sometimes something out of the ordinary that might be urgent and important, but that doesn't mean every single thing that is urgent is important as well. And it's important to understand the distinction between the two. When something is urgent, like maybe your launch is really going well and there's an unusually high amount of website traffic, and so your website is crashing, or you need to get some support in making sure your website can handle that much traffic, that is really important. Okay, that's the middle of a launch, and that completely makes sense. But when you are sending messages to coworkers or teammates in the middle of the night on a weekend with something that's not important, but your message comes across urgent, it's not important. Okay, it's just not. It's not the time. Let's not confuse the two. Okay, urgency does not always equal importance. Let me say it again. Ready? Things that are important are not always going to feel urgent. In fact, usually and hopefully, you're building with a sense of important steps, important moves, but you're not actually treating them as urgent. You're ahead of the game. You're getting prepared. I once worked with a company that treated every single task as absolutely insanely urgent. And it was like the company culture was so dysregulated that it seemed like every single task was a life or death situation. Okay, that is not how we want to operate our businesses in 2026. We want to be starting with a regulated nervous system and create your systems around what is important and going in that order. So if you don't have a system, that's kind of number one. We'll get to that in another video in this series. That's a really important place to start, is what is your system for getting all of these ideas or plans or tasks out of your brain and into your system, and then proceed in the order of priority. As you are building your business in 2026, make sure that you are putting importance on the important things and not necessarily in a state of urgency, in a state of panic. Whenever you create or you communicate with a state of urgency, it spreads, and it spreads like wildfire. It can really taint your energy for your team. And if you don't have a team, if you're a solopreneur, it can really taint your energy and come across to your clientele and your customers as urgent and dysregulated. So make sure you're not confusing importance with urgency, and try to figure out what the distinction is between the two. Hope you enjoyed this video. Follow me for more tips in how to build your business with a regulated nervous system. Thanks for watching. Bye.